Today, these questions come from Hexen. He's a person who's found my channel, and he asks me questions a lot of times online in email. This one actually is about Music Theory Video 20. So, if you haven't seen that video, you might check that out, and then you'll know where the point of these questions is coming from. And so let's get started. So number one, question one, I'm rather confused with the chord 6. You suggest that chord 6 is part of both the tonic and subdominant functions. It is. So, my impression in classical theory is that it could be more of a tonic function. So, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But in terms of chords and use of chords and expanding chords, A minor, for example, is the relative minor to C. And so there is a A minor chord in an expanded C major, and there's an A minor in an expanded F major. For example, F major 7 is F, A, C, E. And the top part of that, A, C, E, is an A minor triad. So that's why the A minor triad arpeggio would sound really good on it. That's why the A minor 7 pentatonic will sound good on it. So we would apply that A minor or C pentatonic. You know, you could start either way. And the same, of course, with the C, because it is C, and A minor is part of that. So that covers why those work. And so you could be playing A minor over all the chords, except the dominant chords. And that's actually true as well. You can play A minor over any chord it works on in terms of the diatonic system. So you're not at all wrong there. What you've done is you've discovered more than I was actually talking about. So go for it. And sometimes that A minor will actually sound good on the G7 because it's a great sus chord sound. But more on that later. That goes actually with dominant functions. So, but good job. That's you're set. You're good there. You're thinking clearly, and that's fine. Okay, number 2. It seems to me that one big value of these series of chords on chord functions is actually discovering the interchangeability of chords. Is there any reason the 6 chord has been such a key chord shape? Seems to be highlighted quite a bit. Is it because it's not only the relative minor of the root key, but also serves as a tonic subdominant function, and its shape can be applied in the right hand over most chords? And the answer is yes. So your question 2 dovetails your first question. You're hitting everything clearly, and you're also connecting the dots. It seems like you're starting to see that this is about sound as well as theory. Because sometimes in theory, we look at it and we're like, on paper, here's 1, here's 4, here's 5, this goes with 1, this goes with 4, this goes with 5. You know, people do that with the modes, and it's like, and that's the way it is. And so, but in terms of creating and playing colorful, and again, always playing from yourself, within yourself, playing from your own heart, your own ear, and based on what you've heard out there, you're experimenting and combining things as you can and as you learn them. So your first 2 things are already handled by you, handled perfectly, and thank you so much for the email. They're great. Okay, next, clarification. Music Theory Video 20, still there, all right? You mentioned one principle. This is what I said. When I see a major triad, I can use the pentatonic scale that starts on the root of the triad. The same will be true if I see any minor triads. Are you referring to triads you see within any given chord, like, for example, an A minor within F major, or do you mean the chord at its face value, for example, F pentatonic for an F major 7? So that first part, yes, but there again is the ear playing. In the key of C, I would be careful applying the F pentatonic to the F chord. If you want that open colored F, which goes more to C and not to F, here, let me show you. Here's C. And that's the C pentatonic. Okay, then if my song goes 1-4, now I go to the F chord. That was the C pentatonic. Okay, now I'm going to play the F pentatonic on the F chord. First C, C pentatonic. Now the F chord, F pentatonic. That F, it kind of grounds it out, in my opinion. Now, if you like that sound, you're good. But for me, that kind of grounds it out and sounds almost like we went to the key of F. So I want to keep the C pentatonic on that so I can keep things in the key of C. If I modulated or went to the key of F, then I might start playing that F pentatonic on the downbeat and applying it. But just in this raw setting, I kind of like the idea in terms of F being part of the key of C. I would not use the F pentatonic. I would be using the C pentatonic so that it keeps tied into the key, keeps that sound and that overall sound of C. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. Then I list a few examples where you understand that A minor is seen in all the chords and you can use them. For example, A minor sounds great in F major 7 and it sounds really good in the D minor 7, but remember there I'm using the C pentatonic or the A minor pentatonic, same thing. So I'm not using the F on any of those or the name of the chord. That just, it doesn't quite sound as good, okay? Or as open. All right, the next thing then, however, in B flat major 7, sharp 11, the only notes available are B flat, D, F, E, B flat, D, F, A, and E. And the A minor triad is missing its minor third. So why would you suggest to play C pentatonic? Do that. If I have a B flat major 7, sharp 11, the notes that are available are B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat. That's a Lydian scale. That means this is the 4 chord in the key of F. Now I can use an A minor 7 triad, A minor triad over that. I can use an A minor 7 too. A, C, E, and G will work, or A, C, and E. Those are definitely accessible for a B flat major 7, sharp 11. And all of this is being printed up on the screen, as you can see. So I'm going to take just a breather here to make sure you can see that and look at it. We have B flat major 7, A, C, E. That's your A minor up there. And the top part of that is an F major 7, F, A, C, E. So this is really looking good in terms of the answer. Why do I have a G there, and why do I have a C there? Why do I have an E there? You know, this is a C triad, A minor 7, F major 7. All those are appearing up there, and those can all go over the B flat 7, B flat major 7, sharp 11. Now, in terms of playing, so suggesting the C minor the C pentatonic, the A minor pentatonic will sound great because it's going to maintain that Lydian sound. So here's the C pentatonic. Here's the B flat major 7, sharp 11. And here's the scale. Here's C triad. Here's A minor triad. Pentatonic scale. So that's why I would suggest the C pentatonic and the A minor pentatonic. Why? Because they fit. And that's because there is an A minor triad in there. There's a C major triad in there. That's why that works. But B flat major 7 would not necessarily be a diatonic chord to the key of C. It might be closer to think of it, more to think of it like it's in the key of F. But it can appear in the key of C as a color chord, but no matter where it appears, a major 7 always, 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 and that's it, we said it, but sometimes maybe not, but 99.9% of the time, major 7 chords, no matter where they appear, no matter what song, what key, if it's not 1, it gets treated as Lydian. And that's why this works, because that is the Lydian chord in F, and that F major 7 has an A minor triad in it. The C major triad, it works because it's part of the B flat. So B flat that's 9, C is 9, E is sharp 11, G is 6 on a major 7. And then you have A minor is major 7, A, C is 9 again, and E is the sharp 11. These notes are textbook colors for a major 7 Lydian sound, Lydian color. So any major 7, you might think of it that way. And you could find shortcuts like crazy, and that's just depending on how your brain works. For example, B flat major 7, sharp 11. Wow, what minor chord pentatonic do I need on that? Or what major chord pentatonic do I need on that? Okay, B flat, half step lower, that's the minor I want. So let's say E flat major 7, sharp 11. Half step lower than E flat is D minor. I want that triad, and that means I can play an F triad over the E flat. So it's that simple. Or you can go by finding the major triad in the relative minor. So B flat major 7, sharp 11. 9 on a B flat is C, that's my major triad. The relative minor to C is A minor, that's my overall pentatonic and my overall major minor pentatonic. You can do that and transpose keys anyway, or you can just think flat out B flat is 4 in the key of F, E flat, is 4 in the key of B flat, and that's the scale. But in terms of finding these shortcuts and finding the ways to get to them, that's what you're looking for, is how your brain works and how you can access those. Sometimes it helps to write them all out. I know I did. Everything we're talking about, I've written out dozens of times. Just studying it and enjoying it. And that's the bottom line. You want to enjoy your study. Enjoy the study of theory. Don't be up in your head like, yes, I must know theory and I have to know everything and I can't play this or I'll be wrong. No. You want to know theory because it helps you speak better. It's just like language. Better vocabulary, better grammar, you can make your points better. Okay? So that's the answer to that. I hope that clears up that B flat major 7 thing.